Hello and welcome to Full Potential Living Daily. This daily video is here to provide inspiration, motivation, and wisdom to help you be at your best every day, to crush it in this day and make your biggest dreams become reality. Because I aim to help you step into power, purpose, and full potential today. Every day, because your full potential life, being a high performer is a habit. It's showing up every day, even though you may not always want to. It's showing up at your best, summoning your best today. So let's get into the topic today. Most people that are listening out there are high performers. They're so interested in human performance. This is one of the biggest things in human performance. It's sort of under the radar. Some people look at it as, that's not really part of human performance. Some people look at it as, that's, something that's not really interesting to me. Some people even cringe when we say the word today. But what I want to help you do, like the reason to watch this video today, guys, listen to it, watch it, whatever, is because I want you to walk away with some tools to start having unshakable, unstoppable confidence today. I want to help you have that unstoppable confidence because I think even people, maybe this is you out there, you may have done some cool things in your life. You may have accomplished some things in your life, and you may be doing the same thing and still you don't always feel confident. You may even have had success, but you have that feeling of insecurity. You have that feeling that you're not fully confident, right? But why is that? Why, man, that feeling, whenever I have it, I hate that feeling. I hate that feeling, but it's been a practice for me, right? So there's a lot of you out there that are like, okay, how do I just get more confidence, right? In myself, in knowing myself. Others of you are like, okay, how do I keep that unstoppable confidence that makes me feel amazing, right? I'm going to tell you a key, a tool that, again, some of you are going to be out there thinking, you're going to cringe. You're going to go, oh my gosh, really? That one? Oh man. Others of you out there are going to go, you know what? You're right. And then there's going to be a bunch of people in between, right? But what I want to talk about in terms of confidence is, on the surface level, I'm going to say first is self-love. Self-love a couple years ago was this buzzword, right? This buzzword, self-love, right? But let me tell you a little bit about it, especially for those people that are cringing right now, or those people that are like, anybody out there. I want to tell you why self-love is the key to unstoppable confidence. Because, like, where does that actually come from? Where does that authenticity come from? Where does that self-esteem, that self-confidence come from? And when we're looking at self-confidence, if you want to have unstoppable self-confidence, there's really two things that you need to do that this breaks down to. Ultimately, everybody can show their strengths. Everybody can put on a mask and go, yeah, look how good I am doing this. Everybody can shine. Most people, let's say, can shine and show their strengths. They can put on sort of a mask and say, yeah, these are the things I'm good at, right? But the key to self-confidence, the key to what Nathaniel Branden said is self-esteem, is being authentic. And what do we mean by that? Let's go a little bit deeper. Step one is you have to be authentic, right? You all know that, right? But let's go a little bit deeper. how do you be authentic? How do you be authentic with your team? How do you be authentic with your people in your life? How do you be authentic with everybody? How do you be open and authentic to everybody? Because otherwise you're holding yourself back, right? You ever have that time where you're in a group of people and it's an important meeting or an important networking event, or it's just an important, close friend you're meeting with, and you're like, why do I feel like insecure right now? Why do I feel like internal? What is up with this? Right? Why do I feel that way? Well, the next step down is you have to be willing to be what? Another buzzword? Vulnerable. You have to be willing to be vulnerable, right? When you have that level of vulnerability, you become unstoppable. You become unshakable. Because when you can express your true self, no matter where you are, what you're feeling, you are unstoppable. You are unshakable. You don't have to put on a mask, because lack of self-confidence is feeling like you are not enough. And what do we do when we're feeling like we're not enough? We put on a mask and we show the world our good parts, right? But that comes from an insecure place. So there's two ways for you to then be vulnerable, to have that unstoppable confidence. Number one is acceptance. Acceptance of your flaws. When you can fully accept your flaws, right? In human performance, like what we're talking about today, getting clarity on self-confidence, right? By the way, high performance living, one of the high performance habits is always seeking clarity, always, right? So we're talking from the human performance perspective, right? From business and life, human performance, right? So I want to give that background. But like, what flaws? Think to yourself. I want to prompt you out there listening today. What things in yourself do you need to learn to be okay with? What things in yourself do you need to learn to accept, even when they're not the greatest parts of yourself? Because that is the first step of really being unshakably confident, because you're being true to yourself. You're being in tune with yourself. And when you don't have anything to hide, you have unshakable confidence, because you're like, I'm just being me. I'm just being who I am, right? So vulnerability breaks into two things, right? So we have being authentic is more on the, like, self-love is the key, right? So we're trying to get that unstoppable self-confidence at the top. Boom. How do we do that? Loving ourselves more, right? Boom. What's below that? Being authentic. Okay. What's below that? Being vulnerable. Okay. Then vulnerability breaks off into two branches, and it's acceptance of your flaws. I suck at that. I'm not good at that. I failed, right? That's number two. That's the second branch, is acceptance that failure or not doing well is a part of life. Because what you're doing right now, if you don't have that unshakable confidence, is you are rejecting the idea that failure can happen in life. You're denying that failure is a part of life. You're denying it. It's a natural part of life. Who out there can resonate? Who out there? Raise your hand, even if you're just watching this video. Raise your hand. Raise both hands and say, I'm ready to change. I'm ready to grow. I'm ready to achieve high performance, human performance at my peak full potential? Raise your hand. Let's go. All right. So what do you need to do? All right. So you need to learn to really, at the very root, we're getting to the root of this. Accept your flaws. Have you ever been able to tell your true feelings even when people out there might not, accept you? That's power. Being able to be yourself even when it feels weak, even when others may or may not think it's the strongest trait you have. Because when you remove that hiding, there's nothing to mask. You can only be authentic, right? So vulnerability is that key to being authentic, right? So we're accepting our flaws. Hey, I don't always, perform at my best. I don't always talk to my spouse, my girlfriend, or my husband. I don't always talk to him the most. I'm not always fully honest. I'm not always fully myself around him. I'm not always able to set boundaries. Who out there can resonate? I'm not always able to say no. Right? So you need to accept, hey, I'm not good at that. Hey, I'm not good at this type of skill. You guys are better. I know somebody on my team that can take care of that. I'm not good at this, right? Accept your flaws. First of all, figure out your flaws. What are those flaws? Where are you falling short? And it's okay, right? And then number 2 is accept that failure is a part of life. Because when you can accept that, hey, I failed, back when I played baseball, we failed 70% of the time, 7-0. The best players in the world fail 7-0 part of the time, right? Most businesses that are started, they never achieve success. They fail, right? Just accept that failure is a part of life. That doesn't mean your dream, your goal is going to fail. That's not what I'm saying. But when you can accept it, then you're not denying or rejecting that. And therefore, you're not afraid of that. And therefore, you're not insecure of that. And therefore, you are powerful because you are accepting thy true self. You are acceptance. So, as a recap, in order to have self-confidence that is unstoppable, you have to get to the root. You have to understand that it comes from being authentic. How do we be authentic? It comes from being vulnerable. Telling your strengths when you got the strengths. Sometimes that's vulnerable, right? But it comes from being vulnerable. And then it comes, where does vulnerability come from? It comes from accepting some of the sides that are your flaws. And then 2 is acceptance that failure is part of life. So when you can fully be vulnerable and be okay with your flaws and failure, it no longer has a hold on you. It no longer has insecure. It never pulls you down. And even when you're succeeding, it doesn't have that on you. Right? So learn to love yourself, to have unshakable confidence by being authentic, by being vulnerable, and accepting your flaws and accepting that failure is a part of life. Hope that helps you today. Subscribe if you are here, homie. Let me know your thoughts, brother, sister, whoever you are. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below, y'all. Let me know what you think and where you may have a flaw. How about you be strong enough? Leaders in high performance and human performance are able to show their flaws. They're able to show their vulnerabilities, their ambitions. They're able to talk about their goals. to the right people, right? To their team and stuff. So share something vulnerable below. Share a failure below, or share one of your flaws below if you have the strength. Or on the other side, if you want to, in the comments, share something that is a stretch goal, something that you love to do, but feels a little crazy, right? I'll go first. I want to be a global thought leader. I want to reach millions of people every year, eventually maybe billions. Crazy, right? I'll go first. I had an emotional blow up yesterday with somebody close to me. Yeah, I acted out of anger because I was in a low energy state. I got less sleep and I was frustrated with what was going on, and I overreacted. That was something that happened for me. Now your turn. Drop a comment below, like, subscribe. Remember those steps to be unshakably confident, to master your psychology, and so you can live your full potential life as a habit every day. Hey, thank you so much for showing up, brother, sister, leaders of the world. Let's get it today. Get after your best. And remember, do not settle. Full potential or what? Nothing. Your best life or nothing. Peace.